Hello, this is Pavel, and this is today's operating brief. On this channel, I look at what technology changes for a business, not tools itself, but what is actually changes for the business so we can demystify it. So we don't need to talk about high level whether AGI is coming or not, but actual implication for the business and how to get best use of those technology changes. I call it a pragmatic use of technology for the business. I do technology for service companies, and there's no person who's not using AI nowadays. And I use AI all day long. So today's topic might be a little bit controversial. And it's weird that before reviewing Agentic AI, I need to say that I have nothing against AI. You probably heard that people say nowadays everything AI. It's not. You can flip it around and say that nowadays every new technology that's coming, we still squeezing into this bloated term of AI. So everything is AI, but AI is computer vision, AI is machine learning, AI is pattern recognition, of course, generative AI, the one that paralyzed the humanity because it gave ability to a machine to talk. And of course, the new addition to this is agentic AI. So I want to discuss specifically agentic AI and question it. Could it be that we overstated when we decided that the agentic AI is the only future for enterprise, and now we are breaking our heads trying to see why it doesn't feed the enterprise? Or might be enterprise or companies do not need agentic AI as badly as we decided. If you scroll, let's say LinkedIn, on the corporate AI topic, it's all about based on assumption that agentic AI is the future, but the companies are not ready. So you can't build AI on the broken foundation. The data is not ready. So your governance program is on the way. And it's kind of framed this as it is a company's fault that agentic AI doesn't fit. It might be. But let's challenge two assumptions, because if we look from them from different standpoint and see might be they are not as 100% true assumption, might be able to just review the whole concept of agentic AI for the enterprise and how it should fit. Before we go there, like, what is agent? Agent is, if we oversimplify it, is a background process that running on schedule or on trigger, like when event something happened, and execute some task, or if they chain together, execute set of tasks, might be combined as a process. So hold on. So like we call it agent, but it's not like we never had the scheduled programs running on cron or triggered by some event in the past. We had cron jobs, we had batch jobs, we had applications. Why we decided to call it an agent? And here's the part that is make it different from any other application. This is the application that running in the background that's elevated to the human level. Let me go to definition of this. An agent is a person authorized to act on behalf of another. That's a legal and commercial meaning, and it's centered older than software. Real estate agent and booking agent. In each case, someone with authority to bind another party. So we introduce another party in the process and elevate machine to the human level. Of course, why not? It has now human level reasoning, at least somewhat close to. So why not? That's why you can hear all the time the people use term AI employee, hire people employee, hire your AI employee, or team, the team that is built of the mix of human and machines. So all of this built on the premise that a machine gets to the human level. So leaving aside ability of machine to execute human tasks, it also implied human level responsibility and accountability for the process. And this is where puts the huge question mark on the entire fit of this into the enterprise. I covered this paradox in the different talk and different video where I said that why AI works wonder for one, it just works well for a small group, but the bigger the group, the less evident the benefits are. Because if you equip person with technology, if you give me AI and I work with this all day long, I see the tremendous leap forward in any task I do. X. Top. But it's only because I am immediate judgment for everything it does, and I'm ultimately still responsible for what it does. That it's just accountability doesn't leave me. So if you put machine as a third party, that changes the context. Who is accountable? How decision was made? Where the reasoning logs, like the compliance, governance. So all of the concept we've been building for way too long is now going away because we cannot apply them to machine. We don't know where to apply them. So the legislation acts are coming up. So there's the Colorado Act. There are some European Union acts that requires complete log of reasoning that will be presentable in court for any AI-based decisions. So see the difference? If you give me AI and I'm still accountable, so I'm used technology, I have different technologies, but I'm ultimately accountable, nothing's changed. My productivity get to the next level, and this is the only positive change. So you introduce a machine as a third party, and now we need to put every restrictions. Machine cannot sign the acceptable use policy and be liable in court for anything it does. Who does? This is where the problem is. The claims company process claims. Machine decides to deny a claim. Who's accountable? Who's responsible? Judge makes decision using all different technology. Of course, using search, they're using the aggregate information, collect information. They might be using AI, but after all, a judge making decision on the case. But if at any point when the machine makes decision, we introduce third party, that goes beyond any software and it complicates everything. I was asked 2 years ago in one interview, how soon do I think that machine will be processing claims? My answer was, even back then, never, and I stand by this now. But now I have an argument. If you look at the claims examiner, who, let's say on average, spends 4 hours on a claim, and you equip them with all technology needed to make decision in 30 minutes or 15 minutes, on any other level, the technology that we equipped with the examiner with, nothing's changed. The accountability, responsibility, the security logs, everything stays with that person. Everything works. The minute you lift it up to the level that the machine makes decision on a claim, everything falls apart. So do we really need this? Or we better stay with one-to-one relationship between technology and the person, equipping person with the technology, elevating the productivity to the next level, and stay with this without adding the machine on the human level. So I know that all of those theories exist. They are theories. That all humanoid robots will just leave it aside. Might be one day. But today, in order to get advantage in the business, would it be better to have 5x productivity increase by mapping technology to every single person instead of introducing machine as a third party? I'm pretty sure it is. So this is number one. So the problem with agentic AI is machine is viewed a human level party in the whole process. And that complicates everything. Number two is a non-determinism of LLM. So LLM started in a way we all introduced to it. So because we on the consumer side, so like from the people who just doing this, I'm consumer, they're the same way as any business consumer of that product. It started with us sending request and receiving result. It is changed from the way we interacted with machine in the past that we now can do it in the general human language, because machine is now able to understand human language, extend it if needed for better query, then go and query a large database. That's very simplified. Large database of everything humanity knows, load it in a machine, then extracted the result, and then summarize it in the way we want. If I say one paragraph, it gives you one paragraph. If you give 5 pages, it's 5 pages. But since then, it's evolved, and now it's added reasoning. Reasoning is expanded on your prompt. So it doesn't do it in one shot. You just break it down, just collect more information. You can see that it's working and saying, now I'm collecting this information, now they're collecting this information, depending on what we want. I might review the contrarian view and collect it all. And then, so basically just writing subqueries, multiple the subqueries internally to give you better response than in a single shot. And we added ability called tools from LLM. So when you just ask in a chatbot that review all the files in the folder and then find all of the information related to, let's say, some specific event or person, LLM doesn't read files. It calls tools. And it's very convenient. So you can go to the more complex case. Let's say we have Sentry. Our exceptions are there real time, the errors from the application. I can say that go to Sentry, use MCP, collect all the bugs, then fix them, then commit them, then create the summary of commits. It's very convenient. But if we want similar flow to put in production in enterprise and moving it out of context of one person, all of a sudden we don't want the kind of reasoning in non-determinism of the LLM. We want it execute as said every time, over and over again. And this is what LLM cannot guarantee. So there are ways what we can do without LLM. Let's say one low-hanging fruit for all automation that weren't able to do before, it is working with the unstructured data. So it could be email, documents, the voice call transcripts. It's all there. That's LLM. But if we want to put this in the production, why would we create a script that will be translated in machine's instructions every time on every call with the not 100% guarantee of exact same execution every time, if everything that is deterministic we can compile and only call LLM when it's needed? So convenience suggests that we need to tell LLM to do everything, and it will call tools when needed. Imagine deploying 50 of such agents on a production on a corporate level, so where we have no traceability, where there is no logs of execution, and there's no guaranteed, 100% guaranteed of results. And now picture the hell you're going to be when they start working not as intended. If you've been doing maintenance of the software products, you know that fixing a bug during the development and 9 months later, it's completely different story, especially if people changed. So now imagine that you oversee a department that runs 50 of those agents. And they have long text instructions, which is not traceable, not debuggable, so that is just technical one piece. The only reason we break it down into multiple sub-agents is just to give it at least some level of traceability. So probably the better way is compile all deterministic code as we used to before and call LLM only when needed. Two problems. One is elevating machine to the human level. Another one, non-determinism of the LLM call. This is what kills, and this is what kills the idea of agentic AI in enterprise. That's why it doesn't fit. That's why we can't squeeze it in no matter what we try. So the easy conclusion, it doesn't fit because it's wrong. We do not need to give a call machine agent. Just equip every person on your team with AI and still measure human productivity, you're going to be fine. All right. Thank you. And I'm going to talk to you next time.